welcome to Fox News!
We'll begin our broadcast today by covering Period 3 of World History. Okay. Now, most sources can concur that Period 3 was between the years 600 and 1450 CE. But there were a few significant events that took place before 600 in actually the mid to late 500s of the Common Era that had some significance going into the 600s or the beginning of Period 3. Some of those things included the Byzantine Empire's rise to power, or just their becoming notable on the world scale, and also the life of Muhammad. He was born in 570, and that was of course directly related to the birth of Islam.
So, into the 600s, the Tang Dynasty began in 618 to 907. They were responsible for many new inventions and many new accommodations. They introduced the civil service exams. They invented gunpowder, printing press, and other weapons. They were very important to the expansion of transportation improvements for the main factor of trading. Continuing up to the Sue Dynasty.
Sweet. Now, moving on from the Tang Dynasty, we are going to talk about the religion of Islam. Okay. Now, this is obviously a big part of Period 3, and it also transitioned and continued into many periods afterwards. Founded by the guy named Muhammad. He was born in 570, that was the Common Era, and died in 632. And basically, he founded the religion. And after Muhammad died in 632, along come the caliphs, right? And there were a total of 4, and they were basically the rulers of the Ummah, or the Islamic community. And those 4 caliphs were really debated amongst the followers of Islam. And the 4 caliphs are actually what caused the Sunni and Shia split, like the 2 different groups of the religion. And basically the Sunni, they favored the first caliph. They believed he was the correct ruler. And the Shia, they favored the 4th caliph, which, they thought he was the correct ruler. And then from there on, they've just developed more differences and really come to resent each other. Now, one thing important to know. After the 4 caliphs had ruled, the Islamic Empire comes under control of the Umayyad dynasty. And this occurs about 660 of the Common Era, right? And basically this is just another ruling group of the Islamic Empire, and actually it collapses after only 90 years rule. And then the Abbasid Caliphate takes over. They're a more powerful Islamic empire, and in this time the empire's become very vast, and it actually stretches into parts of Spain, much of Spain actually, the Arabian Peninsula, and most of the Middle East. And with that, we're going to get right into the Song Dynasty!
Following the Tang Dynasty came the Song Dynasty, which began in 960 to 1279. A lot of things improved: gunpowder, weapons, and printing. Overall, the Chinese population became more educated as time went by. Overall, making it a more powerful state than what it once was before. Sadly, they then fell to the Mongols.
Now, before we talk about the Mongols, okay, bear with me. We have to go over the Middle Ages, all right? It just has to happen, okay? And basically, the Middle Ages were essentially a period of chaos following the fall of the Roman Empire, which really took place at about the 300s of the Common Era, but nothing really notable came out of the Middle Ages until about the 1000s. But during this time, there were many disorganized states that were developed. People were constantly invading each other, and this also brought about the development of feudalism, the government system. In 1054, there was the split in Christianity, which formed the Roman Catholic Church and the Western Orthodox Church. And then shortly thereafter began the Christian Crusades. Those lasted from 1095 into the 1200s. And really, the Crusades were an overall failure for Christendom, as they were a waste of money, and they didn't really accomplish anything permanent in retaking the Holy Land, because they around the same time as the Middle Ages, 1000 CE, many powerful kingdoms and trading hubs are beginning to pop up throughout the African continent. This is due to the thorough establishment of agriculture throughout many places of the African continent. These kingdoms include Ghana, Great Zimbabwe, and Mali. They are opening up for the expansion of Islam throughout Africa and wider hemispheric trade.
Wider hemispheric trade.
Much wider. Lots of stuff. Okay? Now, this is strengthening the Indian Ocean trade miraculously, okay? There are ships going in all the time.
Huge ships.
Very large, alright? Lots of stuff. South and Southeast Asia are profiting immensely with the ivory and gold trade. There's the increased spread of religion, technology in the 9 years, resulting in an overall broader hemispheric economy. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Very good. Now, the part we're about to talk about. In the 1100s, they were just a group of nomadic tribes in northern Asia. And then, a man by the name of Daniel born 1162.
He's just a regular kid, you know? I mean, just a little nomad, you know? Cute little Asian nomad.
He became a prominent tribal warrior. And leader. Not only that, defeating neighbors. Couldn't believe it. So, he gained more and more power. He was eventually elected ruler of the Mongolian kingdom. His name was Genghis Khan. Conquest began in 1210. And by 1227, many Asian empires conquered. Kingdoms stretched from North China Sea to the eastern Persia. Khan was fearsome, ruthless. The Mongols were very skilled horsemen and archers. They were highly disciplined, unlike any other I've ever seen in my life. Organized military. They spared those who surrendered, killed all that resisted. Made extremely efficient of all conquered people and their ideas. They made them theirs and added it to it. They were smart beings, for sure, unlike any other.
But they were pretty stupid.
They were ruthless. Crunk! You see the man? Shit. Alright, oh my god. These great Mongols, rascals, dirty, and very vicious. Do not want to mess. They destroy everything in the path, everything. And they'll pay the righteous. It's... What I think is... Just let you don't always work. They respect you if you leave right away. Okay, so... I'm gonna do a fight, and we're gonna do just that. Okay? Let's go.
They were extremely effective governors, as they were very tolerant religiously, which was unheard of with an empire of this size in this time period. They protected trading. The Silk Road was safer than ever before under the Mongol Empire. And really, there was an overall unification of peoples in the Mongolian Empire, which was so vast. It increased trade and brought many people together who would not have interacted before. Genghis Khan ended up dying in 1227, and his third son succeeded him, and there was only more expansion after that. Genghis also had 3 grandsons, and they eventually formed the Khanates, expanding the empire into Russia, the Islamic heartlands, and eventually conquering China. Then that was between 1230 and 1270, about. All these conquests resulted in a vast empire that made very efficient use of all the peoples they conquered. They moved around many laborers, and they used many people as warriors in their front lines to gain more territory. Shortly after these vast conquests of the Khanates, however, the Mongols began to lose power. They were overthrown in China and replaced by the Ming Dynasty, which lasted from 1368 until 1644. They began to lose power elsewhere as they assimilated into different places and absorbed different cultures. These vast conquests left about 40 million dead bodies in their path, but there were many other effects of the Mongol Empire that are still prevalent today.
40 million. That was 3/4 of the population of the region. The entire world.
It was terrible, really. But there are many good things that come out of the Mongol Empire. There was vast hemispheric connection as far as trade and commerce goes. Many people were united under the empire, however forcefully, perhaps. And there were many innovations and inventions that came out as people became aware of new technology. Now, on the other hand, the death toll was incredible. It was the second deadliest conflict in history. Also, its connection with the empire established led to spread the Black Plague beginning in China around 1330, then spread through the trade routes into Europe, where eventually killed 1/3 of the population. Let's not forget, however, with all this stuff going on in Europe and Asia, can't forget about the Americans, okay?
And now let's talk about the Americas.
Alright.
Overall, they got a late start at the beginning as far as the development of civilization. Their first large-scale civilization was between 700 and 800 years, starting with the River Valley region. One major city that wasn't founded until 1325 was called
Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire, was not founded until 1325. And this may become surprising as considering the complexity of the city and the strength of the Aztec Empire around this time.
Although they did have developed agriculture and they did trade with each other, they couldn't have as advanced trade networks because their population wasn't as big as what should have needed.
Also, the trade network would have been oriented north to south across the Americas and Latin America versus east to west in Asia, where it was much wider and easier to trade.
Another problem with trading was that they had no domesticated animals, such as horses, cows, and but to be honest, there was a couple positive outcomes. There was many scientific and mathematical achievements, feats of engineering and architecture. Overall, they were inferior in many ways to Europe and Asia.
All in all, the events of Period 3 in Europe and Asia led up to the Renaissance, which was a very high point in Period 4, which also led to the discovery of the Americas and the Columbian Exchange, another high period. But we'll talk about that next time. But for now,
this has been Fox News!
indeed.
Now?
So you want to take 16?
No, you're just gonna say it and then we're gonna laugh.
That was actually a blooper that was recorded.
Hey, just been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win.
Into the 600s, the Tang Dynasty began in 618 to 907. They were responsible for many inventions and new accommodations, such as they added into their government the civil service exams, which increased the IQ levels.
Right now. And whatever you took out of it.
And the receipt!
That's my receipt. Hey,
That's mine!
it's mine. Didn't ask for it.
Talk!
It's too late for me. It's too late for me. I like it hot.
Y'all doing?
We are using the electricity.
Yes.
What do you